Bodden with WrungNeck Decoy. I'm here to do a follow-up video on how to paint or refurbish your WrungNeck decoy kit. So this is the decoy that we had shot up, and then we repaired it with melted milk bottles on the previous video. So I'll go ahead and jump into this. It doesn't take very long, I think about 20 minutes. It'll be done. And we've got another one down here that put in some good work for us during the season, and we'll just kind of leave it there to show you kind of the comparison of how everything comes back after you use them for a little bit. So let's see how this goes. Thank you. So the first step to finishing your decoy is you're just going to go with your black. And so on the body, where your area is, we're going to focus right in here and get that as black as we can. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to stipple this black along the lines where I want it. And I don't have to be too particular, because we're going to come back over that and we're going to do we'll hit it with the spray, and we'll hit it pretty hard back in this area that I'm working on right now. So when I get done, if you're doing a new kit, basically that's your first step. That's what it's going to look like, and you're just going to follow those lines. Okay, I'll get busy and get that step done. Okay, so now we got the tail section pretty much painted up the way we want it with that black. So now I'm just going to take the same black Rust-Oleum flat, and I'm just going to get enough on my brush to just darken this up. I'm really not even painting it, I don't think. I'm just trying to jam a little bit of a color and just erase some of the salt that gets on that. So that's all I'm going to do. And while I've got you, before I bore you with the painting brush, I'm just going to stipple around that cheek patch. So I'm just going to stipple brush. I'll come close to it, but I'll leave a little gap away from it. And I'll just try to save my pattern that I had set up on that head. Okay, so that's all I'm doing, is just stippling around that outline. So now I've got the head brushed up and got it back to a nice black, and got the tail section blacked up really good. So now I'm moving on to my khaki, or my almond color, for the body. So I'm just going to hang this up on a elk antler that I've got over here. Alright, let's move on to the body, and with the khaki or lighter color on the body. So this is where we had the damage. That's where this thing was shot up. That's kind of our milk bottle patch right there. Okay, so what I do is I just start out with the stipple line here on the flank, and then I'll just move forward real easy to paint this part. So we'll just give myself a line here. Just kind of painting. I'm just kind of giving myself a line right there. And I'll just continue all the way around this decoy. Okay, so that's our basic step. Doesn't look that great right now. All we're doing is just kind of getting that layer on there so we can get ready to do our spray and shoot it. So we'll let this dry, and we'll just go to the next step coming up. Thanks. Alright, so the next step is we let our black dry on our head, and then we've got our body where we brushed it up with our khaki or light almond color as our base. So now we're just going to spray this down with our khaki camouflage color here, and that'll kind of cover up the brush strokes, and let's see how it turns out. Okay, we'll go ahead and do some more touch up on that, and next step that we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with our black. Okay, now we're at the black color stage on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to mist this just lightly as we start to the front, and then when we move back we'll hit this area pretty hard with the black, and that should come out looking pretty good. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going to hit that a little bit harder as I go to the back. Okay, so we got done with our spray on the decoy and kind of blended in the colors, and you can kind of compare and see how this is coming together compared to the decoys that we put so much use into this season. So it's starting to come back, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to clean up our white areas on the goose. So what I'm going to do is I'll start out with the cheek patch on the head, and I'm just going to go through and do some stippling and just kind of clean that cheek patch up, make it brighter. Alright, so we can see I got, one side done. There's the other side. I'll kind of get a bird's eye view. If I go a little bit wider on this side, I'll try to even that out over here. But, I'm not an expert painter by any means, and so what I'm just trying to show you is how quick you can get a decoy just refurbished back up so you can get it back in the water and hunt it. And I think these colors have worked out great, so I'll go ahead and finish this side. Hey, there we go. That's good enough for me. Okay, that'll get that back in the water, and that'll give me the flash that I'm looking for as far as the white when the head starts to move with the waves and the wind, and that head starts to move, that cheek patch will work for me. So there we go. Alright, so now with the white, since we got it out, we're going to go ahead and clean that tail end up, and we want to get that as white as can be, because obviously that's a good portion of the decoy that's going to provide flash, and you'll be able to have your approaching bird see this decoy from a long way out. Okay, so now we're done with that stage. We've got the white brought back, so there's the body, and there's our head. So that's where we're at so far, and pretty good comparison with our seasoned decoy down here below. So alright, a couple of more steps and we're done. So now I'm just going to do a final detail on this decoy, and it's going to be ready to hunt. And I'm glad to get to this point because I'm running out of daylight, and I want to hunt with this decoy tomorrow. I want to throw it in with my rig. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add texture. It's actually that trim on that door, that's the color. It's just some paint that I had hanging around, and so it's just a little bit darker, than the khaki that we were using on the decoy. So all I'm going to do, just get my brush a little bit wet, and then I'm going to just try to do some stippling on the flank just to get a little bit of detail, like it's a feathering texture on it. And I'm just practically, I'm just painting dots is what I'm doing. And that'll kind of break that up and maybe give it just a little bit of texturing, like a feather texturing detail on it. And I don't do too much on it, so that's all I did right there. I'm just adding that just to kind of break it up, give it a little bit of detail, and we'll be done with this, and I'll be happy to hunt with this decoy again. So let's see, I'll do this side, just kind of show you what I come up with. Just kind of hooking that brush around and not trying to be too fine or too detailed. And I think that's good enough. Here's what that side looks like. So, alright. So now we set that down for a second. Take my head, put that there, and there we go. There's our comparison between the seasoned decoy that we're gonna work on that one probably in the next couple of days, and just throw that back in the rig. But I think this one's ready to go for tomorrow. So I'll try to take the camera with me, and I'll just show some footage. I'll take the ones that I've got in the sled, and we'll put those in the water, and then we'll have this one next to it. I think you guys will be able to see the contrast and the difference between the refurbished one and the ones that we've hunted over during the season. So one thing about doing this that I'm wondering if it helps, since I had a base coat on it like that, and then you go ahead and refurbish your decoy and you do the coat over it, I'm thinking in my mind that's going to make a more durable paint job on that decoy. So, you know, that's another really good reason to touch up your decoys at the end of the season. So, all right. Hey, thank you for watching. Appreciate you.